Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Community Day Legacy Fast Move for Victreebel, Magical Leaf. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, Erickson, so many thanks for the battle submission. Now previously, Victreebel was stuck with Razor Leaf, which does a ton of damage, but has basically no energy generation, whereas Magical Leaf is way faster in terms of energy generation. You almost get to your charge attacks in half as many turns as you do with Razor Leaf. So without further ado, let's hop out of the matches, and let's take a look at the way faster charging fast attack for Victreebel, Magical Leaf. Decent lead in the first match, Dewgong into Empoleon, opponent save switches into a Shadow Granbull, and it looks like right off the bat we might be dealing with double charm. The Icy Wind does get shielded, the opponent looking to try and make a play for switch advantage. Opponent is going to fire off the crunch on the CMP tie to the Icy Wind. Dewgong wants to try and make a play for switch, shielding up the crunch, going for another Icy Wind, putting pressure on the opponent. The opponent selling out for switch advantage here. Can they get the farm down? They can. The Granbull lives on 1 HP, but now in comes Victreebel, one Magical Leaf later, and they get KO'd. If it is double charm, they're going to be in trouble, and we do see the Empoleon re-enter the field. Going to be met with the Leaf Blade. This is going to do a massive amount of damage, getting Empoleon low. The switch into the Annihilate, sniping the Empoleon. And in the back, it is what we were expecting. It is going to be the Wigglytuff. And with a shield up, Victreebel just cannot lose in this endgame. Night Slash, not going to be doing a whole lot of damage, but you can just send in the Victreebel, and Victreebel is absolutely cooking in this endgame, shielding up the Icy Wind, making it to the Magical Leaf. No Sludge Bomb disrespect here, just gonna take the win with the Leaf Blade, and down goes Double Charm. Moving to the next match, picking up a very interesting lead, Dewgong versus Clodsire. Now, the Dewgong-Clodsire matchup is definitely dependent on how many shields are in play. Because, of course, the Clodsire is going to be running Stone Edge, which will hit for massive super effective damage, but Dewgong is hitting for super effective damage as well. Dewgong electing to not shield the first here, which does mean that this could get a bit complicated, because now this Stone Edge is going to threaten a potential knockout, and we are going to see the shield of the debuff Stone Edge. Dewgong now going for the harder hitting Drill Run. I do like this play, expecting the opponent is not going to shield. They are going to let that through, and Dewgong just cannot get the farm down. The Clodsire barely able to hang on, make it to the debuff Stone Edge, and win switch. In comes Annihilate. Annihilate gets an energy advantage. Opponent is going to respond with a Shadow Skarmory, and it is so good to see the Skarmory here and not on the Victreebel. No baits from the Annihilate, going for the Shadow Ball. Opponent calls the bait, they get KO'd, and it's Victreebel's favorite Pokemon in the world, Whiscash, in the back. The Shadow Ball gets shielded, and we see the catch of what should be the Scald onto the Victreebel. Oh no. And this Whiscash is just getting absolutely bullied, farmed down by the Victreebel, and that's a win. Great lead in the next match, Dewgong into Mandibuzz. Opponent save switches into a non-Shadow Poliwrath, and in comes Annihilate. Since it's the non-Shadow Poliwrath, Annihilate doesn't have to respect the Scald. If it's the Shadow, then Poliwrath, after landing the Scald, can commit a shield and farm down, whereas with the non-Shadow, they're not going to be able to do that. The Poliwrath commits the shield. They are trying to make a play for switch advantage. Annihilate is going to fire off the Night Slash on the CMP tie to the Icy Wind of the Poliwrath. Annihilate choosing to give up switch advantage. This could get a bit uncomfortable, but at the very least you can get some energy onto the Victreebel here. In comes the Victreebel. Victreebel getting the farm down. Victreebel will be met with the Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz going to be hit with the Sludge Bomb, and Sludge Bomb is going to win charge attack priority here. So Sludge Bomb will connect into the Mandibuzz, dealing some solid damage, but this Aerial Ace is going to do quite a lot, so we will see Victreebel committing the shield. We now see the switch into the Dewgong in the back. It's a Lantern, and this is going to be a very close game. If Victreebel is able to Magical Leaf down and leave with a ton of energy, then potentially will be able to threaten the Mandibuzz with a bunch of Sludge Bombs. The Lantern doesn't really have a reason to bait here. They're going to full send the Thunderbolt, and now it's time for Victreebel. Victreebel going for the Magical Leaf farm down, going to be able to exit with quite a lot of energy here. The Thunderbolt is going to connect, And now, in comes the Mandibuzz. The Victreebel firing off the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb will come close to knocking out the Mandibuzz, able to hang on. Victreebel trying to farm. Oh, this is going to be really close. Can Mandibuzz make another move? It might be a simultaneous KO here. And the Mandibuzz lives on 1 HP. Victreebel almost did the impossible by getting rid of a Mandibuzz. And that's a heartbreaking defeat. Great lead in the next match. Dugong versus the Shadow Dragonair. Dragonair staying in this matchup, so they probably have something else that's weak in the back. Maybe, like, I know there's a very popular team that's like Skarmory plus Lantern, so maybe it's that, and they just don't want to switch out. Opponent is going to shield. We now see the switch into the Annihilate. The opponent not switching out here. They're throwing debuffed energy, so they must not have an amazing response. And now the opponent is going to send out the Skarmory right on cue. Annihilate. Oh, this time going for the bait. Let's see. What does the opponent want to do? The Night Slash gets shielded, and it's a CMP tied to the Shadow Ball. Oh, goodness. Annihilate lands the nuke, and that is the easiest no-shield of Annihilate ever, as the opponent ends up wasting that energy. Now you can just send in the Dugong, look for the farm down. The opponent on 1 HP makes a last-second charge attack, but now you can just trust in Victreebel. The Skarmory's out of the way. Down goes Skarmory. In comes the Dragonair. That can't make a move either. What is in the back? And there it is. Hello, Lantern the Fish. Meet Magical Leaf Victreebel. Leaf Blade smacks the Lantern. Lantern, I mean, this is just so over. The Lantern is going to try for a Hail Mary charge attack, but that just gets shielded. They get farmed down, and Victreebel takes the win. We've got a core breaker on the lead in the next match, Dugong versus Cresselia. Cresselia is a pretty big problem for this entire team, and specifically the Annihilate plus Dugong core. Cresselia will be able to outpace to the first. Dugong going to commit a shield, because after these Icy Wind debuffs, the energy from Cresselia will be substantially less threatening. Dugong firing off the Icy Wind. The Icy Wind will be no-shielded by the Cresselia. Cresselia going to fire off the Grass Knot. Dugong will be able to absorb this damage no problem, and the Cresselia will be below half health after this next charge attack. Another Icy Wind into the Cresselia. Cresselia with a decision to make. They're going to be no-shielding. They save switch into a Shadow Dragonair. Dragonair will be met with the Icy Wind. Icy Wind, opponent basically has to shield this, so they're going to lose almost their entire Dragonair. Going to stay in with the Dugong, get as much damage as possible, and now you can just send in the Annihilate. Annihilate will be able to absorb this damage, as thankfully the damage output is reduced thanks to the Icy Wind. They fire off the Aqua Tail. Annihilate able to withstand that damage, not by much though, because there's another Aqua Tail on its way. That's going to connect. Annihilate able to get the counter down. Does the opponent send in? No, they don't send in the Crest. They send in Altaria. The opponent running a team so weak to Bastiodon. The Shadow Ball is shielded. There's unfortunately no hope for the Victreebel, and the match gets resigned. Great lead in the next match. Dugong into Gligar. Opponent save switches into Lickitung. Lickitung is going to be answered with Annihilate. Annihilate now going to be met with a potential Power Whip. Choosing to no-shield the Power Whip is going to connect, getting Annihilate pretty low. Annihilate building up to the back-to-back Night Slashes. Night Slash number 1 not going to be able to threaten a KO, but a second one after one more counter should be enough to knock out here. So going for Night Slash number 2, opponent has a decision to make. They're going to let this through, and with one more counter, switch advantage is maintained. That is very, very nice. And now the opponent is going to be waiting the timer, sending in the Gligar. Gligar will get farmed, but they don't have a move, so they're going to have to switch in the back. It's an Empoleon. And Empoleon, thanks to Steel Wing, is actually able to put up a pretty significant fight here versus the Victreebel. Drill Peck is going to be shielded. Victreebel, the nice thing here is we'll be able to get to these charge attacks pretty quickly, but with the energy advantage that the Empoleon has, Empoleon might honestly be able to take this matchup. This is going to be close. We're going to see the shield by the Victreebel on the Drill Peck. Victreebel going to fire off the Leaf Blade. Looks like only 2 Magical Leafs away from making it to a move. The Leaf Blade does get shielded. Empoleon gets the farm down, and now it's all up to Dugong to try and close out the game. A caught Drill Run would be catastrophic. This is going to be very tough. Going to overfarm, and the Drill Run does not get caught by the opponent. That's quite good. The Gligar does have energy, however. The Gligar should be able to make it to a dig, and the Gligar makes it to a dig. It all comes down to this. Dugong IV check. The dig does not KO. The Dugong barely hangs on, not by much. The Icy Wind knocks out the Gligar, and that's a win. Moving into the next match, leading Dewgong into another Shadow Gligar, back-to-back amazing leads. Opponent safe switches into Feraligatr, and we see a counter switch into the Annihilate. The safer counter switch may have been to send in the Victreebel, but Annihilate will be able to fire off the Night Slash, grab a shield, and at this point, since they're very close to back-to-back moves, I think you just let this go. You can just let this go and then say, I'm going to go for a one shield farm down with the Victreebel, because Victreebel's energy is going to do a lot to Gligar. Gligar is still taking neutral from grass attacks. Opponent gives 2 turns for free here. We are going to see the shield by the Victreebel, and getting the shield call right on the Ice Beam is massive. Victreebel very close to back-to-back moves here. Only going to need 2 Magical Leafs. So throwing 1 Magical Leaf, and now firing off the Leaf Blade, and watch this. Now it's a 3 cycle right here. This pacing is really nice. Going for another Leaf Blade. Opponent has the shield, or they're just getting knocked out. They will commit the shield. They're firing off a charge attack. Decision time for the Victreebel. Victreebel will commit the shield. Victreebel looking to farm. Attempt at a snipe. Opponent, oh no, they're barely able to hang on. And in the back is a Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn, not the Pokemon you're hoping to see if you have a Victreebel plus Dewgong core. Dewgong will fire off the Icy Wind. It's charge attack priority. One move will not knock out here for the Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn going to be able to withstand that damage. And now Icy Wind is going to connect. And this is going to be a bit tough. The Ferrothorn will be able to overfarm quite a lot, pick up the KO with the Power Whip. Now it all comes down to Victreebel needing to clutch this in the end game, and Victreebel just cannot get the farm down. Got the Ferrothorn very low, but Ferrothorn is able to pick up the KO. Moving to the next match, leading Dewgong into Talonflame. Okay, not a bad spot to be in as the Dewgong, especially considering what is in the back here. Opponent is going to give a free Ice Shard, which is quite nice. Dewgong going to no shield the Flame Charge. Opponent safe switches into a Charge-a-Bug, and Charge-a-Bug is an awkward Pokemon for this team to deal with. The Icy Wind will get the debuff. In comes the Victreebel. I honestly kind of like this counter switch here, because Victreebel is resistant to Volt Switches. The X-Scissor is now at -1, so Victreebel able to withstand that damage. Opponent is going to be firing off another X-Scissor, and we're going to see Victreebel commit a shield in exchange for trying to get quite a bit of energy. Firing off the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade is going to be able to pick up the KO. In comes the Talonflame, and here's where, again, the spamminess on this Victreebel is kind of nice. Get into the Sludge Bomb. That does big damage to the Talonflame. Talonflame now in a range where one Ice Shard will knock out, and we do see the farm down, and in the back, it's a Poliwrath, and this should just be a win. You can debuff them with the Icy Wind. Opponent correctly calls it, but now you can just send in the Annihilate, and this is a very straightforward game. The opponent will fire off energy, but it's not going to matter. Annihilate does not care. Annihilate does get debuffed, but now they can just start firing off these Night Slashes. The Night Slash does get shielded. Unfortunately, no boost. It'd be pretty funny to see a boost here in this endgame. Annihilate is going to no-shield another Icy Wind, able to withstand the damage. I believe Annihilate will get countered down before it makes this next Night Slash, but the Dewgong should be healthy enough to take the win, and the Dewgong on 1 HP does exactly that. Great lead for Dewgong in the next match as it leads into Mantine. Mantine's a problem for the backline, so definitely nice to see it here. The opponent going to stay in, and they give an Ice Shard for free. That's very, very nice. That helps the Dewgong quite a bit in what's already a very favorable matchup. The fact that they're staying in this very, very negative lead means that they're probably running something in the back that's very weak to Dewgong. I have seen some ABA teams that have like a Mantine lead with a Shadow Gligar in the back, so it could be something like that. The Aerial Ace is going to connect, and debuff to Aerial Ace just does absolutely nothing in terms of damage. Going for another Icy Wind. That's going to be shielded by the opponent. They are desperately trying to get rid of this Dewgong, but it's just not going to matter. This Aerial Ace, it's going to do nothing. The Dewgong able to make another Icy Wind, putting so much pressure on the Mantine. Do they want a double shield here? They do not. They just get KO'd. And they resign the match. The Core Breaker returns in the final match, leading Dewgong into Charge-a-Bug. Not a great spot to be, as the entire team can take some pretty substantial damage from Charge-a-Bug. Charge-a-Bug did give an Ice Shard for free, but that doesn't help Dewgong a lot in this matchup. Dewgong will go for the Icy Wind, just looking to lower the damage output from the Charge-a-Bug. We see a switch into Annihilate, answered with Mandibuzz, and unfortunately this Annihilate moveset, which is very good to be a safe switch, is completely walled by the Mandibuzz. Annihilate will go for the harder hitting Shadow Ball, as they should, as Shadow Ball, even though it's resisted will still add up over time. Annihilate going to fire off the Night Slash plus these counters should put the Mandibuzz into the red health here. Mandibuzz commits the shield. Mandibuzz overfarms a bit too much. They get a bit greedy with the overfarm, allowing a Night Slash to be reached. This doesn't knock out, and we do see a boost. Oh my, the Annihilate getting the last second boost, but the Mandibuzz does have the back-to-back charge attacks loaded, and we're going to see a double shield. This Annihilate may be low, but it can output some scary damage while it's on the field. In comes the Charjabug. Charjabug is going to fire off energy to get rid of the Annihilate. This could potentially be Magical Leaf farm down range, we'll have to see. Sending in the Dugong in the back, it's Lantern, and they just switch lock themselves. Going for the Drill Run, that gets shielded as well, and this is just a win. Ending the battles how we started them, with Magical Leaf Victreebel just bullying the heck out of a water type. And now we're going to see Victreebel build up well past double Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade will pick up the knockout. And in comes the Charjabug. Charjabug had energy, but guess who loses charge attack priority and gets KO'd, and Victreebel is able to take the win. All in all, some very fun battles. Magical Leaf does give a lot different play to Victreebel than it typically had, whereas previously, the non-Shadow Victreebel had no play whatsoever, because you were basically just trying to run the Shadow at all costs, and just do as much Razor Leaf damage as possible. Whereas, as far as Magical Leaf Victreebel goes, grass types in the current meta are usually quite difficult to run, with only a few exceptions. So I do think that it's going to be more of a limited metamon, but I do think that the extra flexibility in terms of being able to get the charge attacks does allow it to be a lot less alignment dependent than, let's say, the Razor Leaf version is. So overall, I do think this is a pretty nice move to get, and if you have the Victreebel, it's definitely not a bad idea if you do want to use the Elite Fast TM, because I know not as many things use Elite Fast TMs as Elite Charge TMs, so people probably have a couple of those laying around. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you as always to our members here on YouTube. The support guys provide is sincerely appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.